Hey there, and welcome to Retirement Reimagined. I'm Tiffany Neary, Senior Living Specialist, and this is the podcast where we flip the script on senior living. Whether you're a retiree ready to take on a new adventure or just curious about how to make the most of your golden years, you're in the right place. Join me and our amazing expert guests as we dive into everything from hitting the road in an RV, getting your financial ducks in a row, exploring the perks of a reverse mortgage, or just figuring out how to link that smartphone to your car. We're here to inspire, inform, and give you practical tips to live your best retired life. So buckle up, tune in, and let's reimagine what retirement can truly be. I would like to welcome Robin McCoy to our podcast. She is senior home coach, and this is where we met in Wichita, Kansas, which was an unbelievable educational group of people.
Yeah. I almost didn't go.
Oh, thank gosh you did.
I almost didn't go. I was sitting here in Dallas and I was like, oh, I don't know. You know, I've been a little bit of a off real estate market. Should I spend the money? You know, is it really? And then I just had this thing that said, you need to go. And you don't have to fly, you can drive. You need to go. And I just went, and I am forever grateful because I learned so much.
It was a great experience. Yes.
Yeah.
We have so many good people in the senior home coach environment, and maybe you want to touch on a little bit about what that means?
Well, you know, and from my regard, so I've been a real estate agent here in Dallas for, I don't know, 2008. You do the math. I don't know how long ago that was anymore. Not always the best time to get a real estate license in 2008, but, you know, it is what it is. And I've been selling real estate all this time. And one of the things that I realized as I get older, my clients get older, and so do their parents.
I don't know how that works.
I'm like, oh, look at that. And so I was running into just a change in my clients. Right? It was either, Robin, we need to sell mom's house, or mom needs to go into, she just wants to downsize into, you know, a condo, or she passed away and we've got all this stuff, you know, all the things, right? And I realized I didn't have all the tools I needed. I could sell it and I could find somebody to buy it and I could find somebody to fix it up if I needed to, but the rest of it, I didn't have the tools. And that's what I find with the senior home coach program, that I have more people on my team that can fill in the gaps of what I don't know, or that I just is not my lane, right? There's things that just are none of my business to be in the middle of.
Now you're talking placement, decluttering, the conversations that need to be had with the person that is having to leave the home after 30 years. Very
and I can
emotional.
have the conversations. It's, you know, I'm good at the conversations, and it is very emotional. You know, in 2023, in the fall of 2023, my sister and I were faced with it. Now, mom didn't have a house to sell. But she'd been living in the same apartment for, I don't know, almost 20 years. And, you know, she's been living by herself forever, right? And she had some medical challenges that suddenly we had to make decisions. We had to make decisions. And I always say, don't make decisions in urgency, because it will always cost you more money and it will be a whole lot harder. And it was all of those things. I proved myself 100% correct.
Yeah. Yes. And then, so it's better. A lot of people don't want to talk about it.
Right.
But we need to plan for these things. We need to have, like me, my parents are 76, still active, but I'm still starting to have the conversation. Dad, where do you want to live in 5 years? Because he's got a tri-level house with wood, really slippery stairs.
Of course they are.
Like, I'm seeing these, and if the dog can't walk down, I don't want my 80-year-old dad walking down in 5 years. So
I mean, you know, and my sister and I tried to have the conversation with my mother several years prior, and she wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. And we let it go. And I think that was I don't want to call it mistake, because my mother is an adult woman, perfectly capable of making her own decisions. But then it got to the point where they weren't the best decisions for her safety. She got to the point where she could barely stand.
Mm-hmm.
So leaving her in an apartment by herself where she can't stand up is not,
No, no.
it's not right. It's not safe.
Yeah.
We had the EMTs there a lot, and one of them I thought was going to call Adult Protective Services, because he was looking at the situation. I'm like, we are working on it. I promise, we are fixing this.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, I'm going to get really
You're
in
going to get in
trouble.
trouble. We're going to put you in foster care.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, the conversations are the hardest thing, I think. And even from a real estate perspective, sometimes I get called in, we need to move Mom, and Mom has said, well, but I don't really want to go. And because I'm a disinterested third party, I'm not their daughter or their son, they tend to listen a little differently than if it's your own child.
Well, let's dive into that a little bit, because my latest stats are about 90% of our seniors want to age in place. They want to stay in their home. What are their options for staying in their home, safety
Well,
wise and money wise? And
here's the thing. Sometimes when we say age in place, it's not necessarily aging in the place that you've lived for 40 years, right? I know that this house holds a lot of memories, and the walls have eyes and ears, and they hear and all those things, right? I mean, I sat with a woman at her dining room table while she just cried, staring at the corner where they used to have the Christmas tree, and imagining her children growing up there. And she was moving closer to them, to Virginia. So that was and that's what I like. I know you remember them in that corner, but now you're going to go live closer and watch your grandchildren grow up and those sorts of things. But kind of lost my train of thought. Aging in place, if you want to stay in the house you're in, you mentioned your father, right? Tri-story house. Is that safe? I think first you got to think about safety. Are all the bedrooms upstairs?
oh yeah,
Do you have a bedroom downstairs?
no,
Probably not, because that house in that age, probably they did put them all upstairs, right? So, is it safe? Well, he can't get up and down the stairs. Okay, so where is he sleeping? He's sleeping in a recliner or on the sofa, which is not safe for the body either, right? And I think, I'm just fine right here. Well, are you? Or is it because you're comfortable here? What if we could find you a house? Because maybe they're not ready for assisted living, right? Maybe they're not. Maybe they're very active and capable. They don't need assisted living, but they also don't need 4,000 square feet and 3 stories.
yes. We need a single story, maybe even the same neighborhood if they like their church and their dentist and it's by their kids. Maybe we just move down the street.
Maybe, what is the better fit? And I think a lot of times people are attached to the house and all their things. But what will I do with all of this? And they look around. And most of it isn't needed anyway. I mean, I'm guilty of it. We buy a house. I mean, George Carlin used to do a bit about buying a house so we had someplace to put all our stuff. And when our stuff got full, we'd get a bigger house so we could put more stuff in
it. He was a real life comedian.
He was. And I have to say, I'd like to see what he had to say about things happening in the world today.
Oh.
It would be interesting. But and that's part of the aging in place, right? 90% say they want to, but less than 20% actually do or can. Mm-hmm. And it's sad, right? It's sad because they want to stay where they're comfortable, where they know, where their doctors are, where all of that, but that bathroom is not safe. They can't, or all the showers are upstairs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now they're I know of seniors that are just really taking sponge baths in the kitchen sink because they can't get upstairs to take a bath. to take a shower, proper shower?
Yes.
And could they get into the shower, and is it safe for them to stand there or even sit there once
Yeah.
they get in? So,
And a lot of my senior specialists are talking to their clients about utilizing some of the equity to make their home ready for them to age in place, to actually
mhm,
stay. The house works, the driveway doesn't have a big slant, all the bedrooms are on the same floor. Like it works. It's a
mhm,
workable situation. However, maybe we do need to make the shower a little bit more compatible, or we do need to maybe um do some upgrades that make your life a little bit easier. And so they're
right,
utilizing their equity in the form of a reverse mortgage. Um,
right.
and sometimes people think, oh my gosh, a reverse mortgage, the bank's going to take my house.
That's the, you know, it's funny. That's the first thing I hear, you know, and I've talked with people on my podcast about reverse mortgages, and I get, oh, they seem like such a nice person. Too bad it's such a predatory practice. And I'm like, well, you're uninformed. I appreciate, you know, you're uninformed. It's a government backed loan, like an FHA loan or a VA loan. There's certain regulations all around it. So if you can take away the myths or the preconceived ideas on things, and be open to just listening to it, and does that make sense?
Mhm,
Right? Does it
mhm.
make sense? Does it make sense to pull the equity out, do a reverse mortgage, put in a walk-in shower, take out all the carpeting, so
Mhm.
that you can, the tripping hazards, the thresholds between the living room and the bedroom.
Yes.
Can we put some grab bars by the toilet or in the shower? You know, can we do something different with the steps? You know, maybe there's 3 steps going down into the garage. Can we adapt that in some way to make it a little easier? So there's a lot of ways to keep your house, you know, to stay in your house and make it still safe and livable for you
Yes.
as you
Yes.
age.
Yes. And it's a good alternative, but you need to inquire. You need to be educated on the new and improved reverse mortgage because it's definitely
Yeah.
not what it used to be
Right.
at all.
Right.
So I'm glad that you do discuss that with your clients because a lot of my realtors have no idea you could even buy a house under the umbrella of reverse.
Well, and I think that, you know, when people say, you know, let's just use your dad's house as an example,
Uh-huh.
because all the bedrooms are upstairs. He's 80 something years old. The bathrooms are upstairs. A house such as that, right?
Mhm.
Now, but maybe he's not 88. Maybe he's 68. Maybe he's 73. And he can still live on his own independently. He doesn't have any comorbidities, and he's not on a bunch of medication to keep track of. And yet, this house doesn't function for him anymore.
Mhm.
What about purchasing a new construction home?
Mm.
Using a reverse for purchase where you don't have a house payment, right? Because of the reverse.
The type of
It's
loan.
a new
Mhm.
house. It's under warranty. The maintenance is less because it's new. If you're building from the ground up, you can put certain things into it, maybe reinforce the walls or get those grab bars in there at the build. You can find the smaller lots, smaller upkeep, and just an easier lifestyle
Yes. Simplify.
without the house. Yeah, simplify. Take the equity out, put that down on a reverse to purchase. So now that loan is smaller, and let that do what it's going to do. You bought a new construction house that's probably going to go up in value. I don't have a crystal ball, so don't come at me that that's not going to happen. But typically, you're getting them at a lesser price when it's early in the development, right? And then they go up as the development closes out. But now you're earning more equity. So when you go to sell it and you're worried about what about my kids? Well, let's worry about you. Let's worry
Yes.
about you.
Yes. Yes.
And we don't know how long you're going to live. So let's make sure you have enough money to carry you till you're 80 and 95 years old. And if once the house sells and you move out and the reverse becomes due,
Mhm.
then let's worry about the kids.
Well, even, I come across people, let's say they sell their house for, they net $500,000 from their house, and they're going to go pay cash for another house that's 500,000. Okay, so you're going to tie up $500,000. Well, maybe we might want to think about that a little bit differently. We're going to buy the $500,000 house, but we're only going to put 300,000 down. We're going to
Mhm.
take that extra $200,000, instead of tying it up, we're going to go invest it.
Mhm.
So we know there's going to be something for our kids.
Exactly. And you're putting that in a high yield, even just a basic high yield savings account
Yep.
at 4%,
Yep.
$200,000. It's there for an emergency if you need it,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
right? You've bought a new house. There's not going to be anything that happens there. But what if you fall? What if you get sick? I mean, any of us could fall and get sick at any point, at any time, regardless.
Yes.
But now you've got $200,000 there. And now when you go to sell the house,
Oh,
that money is yours. It's not tied up into the house. The money's yours.
yes. Yes. And again, there's just so many different options. So if anyone listening is planning on paying cash for a home, ask more questions.
Ask more
Ask
questions.
more questions. Maybe there's a better way. In fact, I'm almost positive there's a better way.
Well, I believe there is too. And it's a process, right? It's when you and I think a lot of it happens around the holidays, right? Because all the family comes around and the kids are looking at mom and dad and they're like, do you really want to stay in this big huge house? You're paying the guy to mow the lawn, you're paying the lady to come clean it. Takes you 10 minutes to walk up the stairs. You got to walk all the way out to the mailbox, whatever those things are. Do you still want to stay in this big house?
Yes,
Have you thought
exactly.
about just downsizing it?
Well,
And I
then,
think people think downsizing is going to assisted living too.
yes, sometimes the words get intermingled, and we
They
have to
do.
talk about that, because downsizing, I think the only thing a lot of people think about downsizing is, what do I do with my stuff?
What do I do? And what do you do? Right? I mean, it's a valid question.
Mhm.
Sometimes we go and go, well, I just call somebody and haul it all out of here. Well, but
And
that's
that's not
nothing.
nice of us to say. We
That's
definitely
not the
do.
right
No,
answer.
it's not the right answer.
And so it's just not the right answer,
No.
unfortunately. I'm sorry. Now, there are people, I have a friend who will go in with every person and they will go through every single item with them, every piece of jewelry, every knickknack, and talk to them about each one. And do they need to keep it, donate it, save it, give it to the kids? All the questions, so that she will actually go through the emotional process
Wow.
with them.
That
And she's
is,
got the patience of,
yeah,
you know,
that's not for everybody.
that is not for everybody either. Sometimes she is not the right answer either. Um, when we were at that conference, we met with Heather Dawson from Max Soul, right? I think that is
Yes.
a brilliant opportunity if you are starting to look to divest yourself of extra things, clothes, furniture, jewelry, dishes, pots and pans,
Hmm.
all those things that just, we we don't cook anymore, but I have an entire 30-piece Calphalon set that I
Yes.
never use. I just use this small frying pan and that pot, and that's it.
Mhm.
So do we need that's what you can then get value out of that by using a max sold auction.
Yes.
But it's easier than doing Facebook Marketplace one thing at a time and strangers showing up on your
And
porch.
safer. Oh gosh, yeah, don't do that. Don't
Yeah,
do that. Yeah.
don't do that. So there are options, and that's why when I say I needed a team that had more tools,
Hmm.
I'm really adding their tools to my tool belt so that I can help more people in more ways.
So when someone raises their hand and they call you and say, "Hey, we need to move mom," depending upon what the situation is, you've got a tool for that.
I've got a tool for that. I do. I want to be the easy button. I
Hmm.
want to be the easy button. Now, do I know every senior living, assisted living community in Dallas? No, because there's a lot of them. And I don't know that even our placement people know all of them. They tend to regionalize, right?
Mm.
North Denton County, Collin County, Dallas, the city, Fort Worth, because there's so many. So part of that conversation is, where does mom want to go? Where does mom want to live? Well, we think she would be, I think she needs assisted living, only because we just want to have somebody there 24 hours a day, right? Or whatever that reason is. Okay, what part of town? Because when you're in Dallas, Fort Worth, that matters.
It's big. It's big.
It's
Like,
really
it's
big. It's really big.
yeah, okay. Don't tell me just Dallas. Okay.
Yeah. So what part? East Dallas, North Dallas, South Dallas, West
Yeah.
Dallas? I mean, it's all very different. And so it's like, well, where do you guys live, right? Where do the kids live? Where are the grandkids?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look in Collin County. Now, let me call my placement people that handle Collin County, that understand who's running it, what what mom's needs are versus what they all provide. And just because your cousin's sister's Facebook friend had their mother at this place 4 years ago doesn't mean it's the right place for your mom.
Yes, and your placement team is going to know the good, bad, the ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're
this
going
is
to know
important.
your budget, complaints to the city or the county or the state. How long has the director been there, or did everybody just get up and walk out last week?
Yes.
Which happened in one of the communities here in Dallas. And one day, the entire staff left. And I don't know why, and I don't know the thises and the that's, but all of a sudden you come in and there's nobody. They have to rehire they have to bring people from
That's a mess.
So you want to know if they've been there for a minute or they just showed up this morning for their first day.
Yes.
It's important.
So you need professionals to help you, because again, you don't want someone from 4 years ago telling you about it. That's silly.
Right.
So let's take some time. Let's start before it is urgent, because then you're not making decisions under duress, and you're not making the wrong decisions. Ideally, a plan before it is needed is what we want to do.
Yeah.
If all parties are open to that.
Here's the thing. One of the things that I say all the time, let's sit down and let's make a plan, and then let's put it on the shelf.
Yes.
And then next time I, as the adult child, come to visit, or on your birthday, we'll revisit it or something. And then you pull the plan down and you look at it and you say, is this still reasonable?
Yes. Yes.
And if it is, then it goes back up on the shelf. But if it's not, then we change what we need to change.
Yes. Oh, right? I like that so much.
I talked to my stepmom, call her my bonus mom, and she is in her early 80s, and she is quite capable. She lives in a house that they had adapted it long before my father passed away into a walk-in shower, and so everything is fine. But I told her, I said, find 3 places that you would want to consider. Let's find 3, so that should something happen, her daughter and I and my sister are not making the decision.
Good.
Joyce wanted 1, 2, or 3. Let's go take a look.
Good. And yeah, so and you give choices.
Well, because then they've had a part in the process too. With my mother, she had no choice. It was urgent. And it was from her apartment to a place that we knew and trusted, even though that lasted only about 3 weeks. And then she was in the hospital rehabs, and now she's in a senior care home. She had absolutely no choices whatsoever, because it came down to who would take her and how much it would cost.
So start early.
Start early.
Chat often. Don't be pushy, but be open.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
There we go.
Just don't be afraid to ask questions. And, I am actually putting together a set of flashcards that I am happy to send to people. As soon as I'm in the process of finishing that up and getting them printed. So, but they have questions on them that will promote conversation. Ooh. So, Mom, if you weren't going to live here, where would you live? So, Mom, what do you think we go into my old room that I used to sleep in when I was a teenager, and I take out, and we get rid of everything in there? What if we do that?
It doesn't have to be the
Or
museum anymore.
it doesn't have to be the storage room. It doesn't have to be the whatever it has become, right? And so it promotes these questions, and it's just like little flashcards to promote the plan.
I love that.
Because if you don't plan, then then it's an urgency. And like I said, nothing. If you procrastinate and don't make the plan, it will always cost you more money.
Yes.
Always.
Yes. And we haven't even touched on making sure you have a trust, making sure you have a medical
just all your medical directives, your
directive.
POAs,
Yes.
your wills, your trusts. Make sure it's updated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's so important, because we learned
it's
about probate, and it's ugly. It's nasty. It's a
ugly.
law. It's ugly. It's just not good for any of the family members.
It's hard because it's just stuff that you don't want to think about and you don't want to talk about. And, there's things that in every state is different, right? Because what is true in Texas, where I am, is not true anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes.
And we make assumptions about things. We make assumptions that the house will just go to my spouse. We make assumptions that, well, he has a will, so we don't need to go to probate. Well, guess what? In Texas, you have to probate a will. And I don't know what that's like in other states. You have to probate it. And if it's not probated within 5 to 7 years, it's invalid.
See? And a lot of people aren't going to know that.
No, they're not, until they are faced with it, because why would they know it, right?
I've got a will.
It's not something that they would need to know.
Yeah.
So it's asking questions, planning ahead, thinking, am I going to stay in this house, or do I need to find a different house? Maybe it's a condo. Mm-hmm. You can do a reverse for purchase on a condo.
Yes, you can.
That's smaller. Mm-hmm. A patio home.
Yes.
Lots of different, there's so many options.
So many options. Raise your hand, ask the questions. Yes.
Raise your hand, ask the questions.
So, yes. Thank you, Robin. This has actually been very eye-opening to me as well.
I'm glad. Yeah. I just want an opportunity to share what I have learned in the last year. Mm-hmm. I have resources, right? First of all, I'm a realtor, so I know a ton of people because that's what we do. And I already knew people in the senior care industry who I could call and go, I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. You're going to call this person, then you're going to call this person, then you're going to call this person.
Good.
So I have that, but not everybody does.
Yes.
And I realized that. And so I want to be that easy button that if I can't help you, I know somebody that can.
Yes, and anybody in your area that you work would be just educated, in good hands. They would feel very confident, comfortable with their next steps if they just got to talk to you for, golly, 20 minutes.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because I have made it my mission to learn as much as I can about this. And I know what I don't know. I know what I don't know. And then I don't know what I don't know. Right? I know when I need to call somebody. I told you before, it's like I know enough about a reverse mortgage to get people maybe questioning it, but I also know who to send them to get the right answers for them, because it's not going to be the right answer for everybody.
Yes. Yes. So I know that you have a lot of social media. You're very active out there. So anybody can get you on almost any platform.
Yes. Yes.
We will list them in the podcast, but you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. And then you have a podcast. You want to share a little bit about your podcast?
I do. I've been doing podcasting for about 3.5 years, 4 years, something like that. And, first it was about real estate, and then that got really boring. because there's only so much you can talk about inventory and interest rates. And so I had another one that was called Crushing It with Your Tribe, which is still one of my favorite ones because I just talked to all the really cool people I know. They're mountain bikers, there's zookeepers, they're search and rescue people, they're, all kinds of different things. So
Cool.
that's a really good one. And there's some old episodes still out there that they're just cool people that I get to be in the world with. But after all this with my mother, I just said, you know what? I need a platform to share all of this. And so I just kind of rebranded, and it's called Relax, I Got This. I Got Your Answers, and it's Embracing Life After 60. So it is, once we get to 60, it's not that we all, this is where our superpowers come in, right? So let's figure out how we can manage the other half of our life. We are living a lot longer. And so we're not done at 60. So what can we do to make sure the next 30 to 40 years are the way we want them? And so I invite people to talk about making that plan. What are all the different senior living options? What can you do health-wise? Looking at nutritionists and just everybody, because life ain't over.
No.
And we just want to make it as fun and fulfilling as we possibly can.
I agree. I'm getting even wild. I'm talking to a foot doctor because there's so many feet problems.
So many.
And if you've got something going on, let's catch it now.
Catch it now, because I'll tell you what, getting those bunions off when you're young is a whole lot better than getting them off when you're old.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
Hurts.
I am a victim. I'm a victim of the bunion thing. And thank goodness, I'm 51 now. Thank goodness I did it in my might have been in my 30s, actually. I did it in my 30s.
Yeah. Yeah. I did it too in my 30s. My mother had terrible, terrible feet. Yeah. And I inherited, not as bad, but I inherited some of that. And I got those, but I've still got some janky feet. Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
I know. We're not wearing those cute little heels, are we?
Oh, no. I don't know what day it was that I crossed the line that I pretty much just wear tennis shoes now. They're cute tennis shoes, but that's pretty much what they are.
Yeah, I agree. So again, thank you, Robin. We'll have the information for your podcast, for all of your links for social. Thank you so much. Not just the Dallas area, but the surrounding area that you can help a lot of people in. Obviously not just seniors, but you know what? We do specialize in that.
I do. I have a little special place in my heart for them.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. And if you'd like to close with anything, stage is yours.
No. Well, thank you so much. I just reach out if you have any questions. Again, I can be found on all the things. And I am happy just to answer questions, field ideas, bounce stuff off. And I just want to I had somebody say one time, I have a wide net. Just tell me how to cast it. Tell me how to cast it, and I will find what you need.
Good. Thank you so much, Robin. I appreciate your time, and I'm sure our listeners appreciated this, and they'll reach out if they're in the Dallas area, Texas area, or moving from. I'm currently in California, but us Californians, we're going to Texas.
You like to come to Texas. They do. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Retirement Reimagined. I hope today's episode gave you some great tips to elevate your retirement. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you found our discussion helpful, please leave a review. It helps others find the podcast too. Curious about how to unlock new financial opportunities in retirement? I'd love to chat and explore how we can make your golden years even brighter. Until next time, I'm Tiffany Neary. Keep reimagining.